Yo, what's up? Evening Hour, episode 129. I think we should start. Let's do it. Yeah! Happy Monday. Come on in, people. Cheers. Nice. Come on in. Where's my remote? I have a remote. I don't know. We'll just turn the dial like the old days. What's up? I have a new remote. You hit a button and change it. What's up? What's up, Fallon? You made it. Perfect timing. This is the non-alcoholic Guinness 0.0. Cheers. Happy Monday. Oh, I got some fun stuff to chat about tonight. Come on in, folks. If you are new, welcome. This is Evening Hour, episode 129. And here I am, and here you are. I know, yeah, that's great, Dan. It doesn't make sense until you realize it's a great day because you're starting the week and you're closer to the end, right? That's how I always looked at it. Like, if Friday is the most fun day, get excited for Monday. Wow. Cheers. What's up, Dan, Jason? If you're new in here in the chat, say hi. Say, hey, what's up? I'm new. So I know who you are. Oh, what the hell? Let me put this up. There we go. Now I'm looking at the right screen. Yeah. Come on in. So, first things first, if you're new to the channel, hit like, hit subscribe, hit, what do you call it? Notify. If it works. Second, it's a chat show, meaning you'll see people chatting in here. You get points for chatting, and you can spend them in the store. Chat, say hi. We have a great group in here. People, we like to share all sorts of ideas. Yeah, say hi. If I know you and you're in the chat or watching, give me a shout out, so I'll give you one back. I mean, there's a lot of people that I know that are like, oh, I watched your show. And I'm like, say hi. This is like a hangout. Oh, yeah, let's see if these slots are working. I'm curious. If you look, there's people playing games in the chat, and the rules are in the description. Maybe it's not working. The bots are working. Oh, look. All right, so look, Dan just lost 13 points. So it is working. All right, have fun with those. You know what I wanted to start with tonight? I saw a show the other day, and I wanted to give a shout out to Helen Metropolis, who hooked me up with a ticket to see Merciful Fate. Now, I've seen Merciful Fate many times. The first time I saw them was their reunion tour, which was In the Shadows, like 1990, 1991. Saw that show, and I've seen them maybe 12 to 18 times, somewhere in there. That's how many times I've seen Merciful Fate. They're amazing, but I will say King Diamond's voice, because he sings falsetto, got better after he had his surgery. Is my record really skipping? That's not good. I don't like that. So, anywho, his voice got better over the years. And I really mean that. It got better and better and better and better. And I actually, in the last 2 times I saw The King, so the other day with Merciful Fate, and about 2 years ago with King Diamond, his solo band, I will say he sounds the best he's ever sounded, and he's now in his mid-60s. So bravo to King Diamond. They did a fantastic job. They had a fill-in bass player out of nowhere, and the reason why I know it's a fill-in is, the show starts and there's a girl playing bass, and now, I follow this band very closely. I've never seen any females in the band, which is kind of cool. It's like, all right, a new bass player. And I love that he didn't mention there was a girl in the band. He's just like, hey, we have a fill-in. And everybody's like, wow, you don't think of ladies when you think of classic metal bass playing, which is silly because why not? But yeah, I was like, oh, okay. And she looked young. I mean, the band is in their 60s. She probably was late 20s, early 30s. She looked like she had been playing Merciful Fate her whole life. So cheers to the band. Cheers to the fill-in. Yeah, his voice is even better. No kidding. What's up, Shane's World? Yeah, seriously, it's like he sounds like the record. I mean, really, the band sounded amazing. The stage show is good. The lighting is perfect. The crowd was good. I was literally basically in the front row. I was house, stage left, 2 people from the front. I mean, I could have gotten to the front. I didn't need to. It was like, here to here. It was like, I've seen him in the front row before. He's great. I mean, really, I've seen him have a bad show, I will say it. I've seen him where his voice isn't strong. So, cheers. That's the first. Anytime I drink no alcohol beer on the show, you'll see me yawn. Before I got to the meat of the show, I wanted to go into my reading. This is a show where we talk about philosophy a lot of the times, and I'm almost getting there. I'm almost done. Human, All Too Human. I am mostly through the book. There are so many things in here that blow my mind. I'm going to read something. A short little paragraph. I think you'll like this. Pertinent to today. This is the chapter called On the History of Moral Feelings. This is aphorism 73. And it's entitled The Martyr Against His Will. The Martyr Against His Will. Okay, listen to this. I think this is fantastic. In one party there was a man who was too anxious and cowardly ever to contradict his comrades. They used him for every service. They demanded everything of him because he was more afraid of the bad opinions of his companions than of death itself. He was a miserable, weak soul. They recognized this, and on the basis of those qualities, they made him first into a hero and finally into a martyr. Although the cowardly man always said no inwardly, he always said yes with his lips, even on the scaffold when he died for the views of his party. Next to him stood one of his old comrades, who tyrannized him so by word and glance that he really did suffer death in the most seemingly way, and has since been celebrated as a martyr and a man of great character. I love that. It's kind of a cynical praising of a martyr in a very cynical way. That book is great. I'm having fun reading it. It's a little meatier than Beyond Good and Evil, but I think for a beginner, this one could be a great book to start the Nietzsche hole on. This edition specifically is easy to read. It's got great notations. I love it. It really does. And the print is nice and big and easy to read. And how many pages is this book? It is 267 pages of meaty reading. Now, Human, All Too Human is thicker than Beyond Good and Evil. And Beyond Good and Evil is still my favorite so far, but I really am enjoying this one. So, yes, man. So many, yes, man. Yeah, like they're fitting in is more important than anything. Being on the correct team without knowing why they're on the correct team. Questioning the team they're on, knowing quite well it could be wrong. Very important. We're going to return to philosophy a little later on in this episode, because after we get it moving, which soon I'm going to jump into the subject, might as well, we are going to be talking about Terrifier 2, a new movie that's getting a lot of attention. And I'm also going to mention a lot about low-budget films that we all love and adore. Before we get there, if you're new to the channel, hit the like, hit the subscribe, do all of that. Yeah, if you're following me on Instagram, Cardone Magic, I supplement this channel with that. So check it out. Now, let me get to, I would like to really show the trailer to Terrifier 2. But here, let me just start with a little precursor. I am going to give a review of Terrifier 2, not Terrifier 1. That said, a little bit about my background on this movie. I remember when Terrifier 1 was kickstarted on Kickstarter. I paid no attention to it. I don't really care about scary clowns. When I think of scary clowns... Hi, Mama. My mom's in here. What's up, Mama? When I think of scary clowns, I think of Killer Clowns from Outer Space. But then I kind of erase it as a genre because there's a lot of tacky, scary clown costumes you see at the Halloween store. And I always associate scary clown movies with something you'd see on the Sci-Fi Channel or some garbage rental, straight to video. So when Terrifier came out, I ignored it. I didn't even hear anything. I heard it was gory. And gory doesn't make me want to see a movie. Good story makes me want to see a movie. So I ignored it. Finally, Terrifier 2 comes out. I hear the buzz. My son loved it. He likes horror films. Other people I know were like, check it out. So then I watched Terrifier 1. And then I watched Terrifier 2. And I'm going to put them all in one category. But I'd like to show you the trailer. And then we're going to talk about it. So this is the trailer for Terrifier 2. Directed by Damien Leone. Came out this year. It started filming in 2019 during the pandemic. So it took a little time. Bad Gacy biopic. Yeah, exactly. Right. There's a lot of like, I'm a scary clown. Right? And I could care less. Crazy YouTube story. A student of mine has a channel. Wow. He has a lot of views. Wow. That's a lot. 40,000. All right, here's the trailer. Check it out.
Did you figure out what you're dressing up as tomorrow?
He wants to dress up as a real guy who murdered 9 people last year.
Oh, you're not doing that.
It's just a costume.
You think that guy's still out there?
What's up with you and this clown all of a sudden? You're like obsessed.
They never found his body. What if he decides to come back here?
I wouldn't worry about it.
Wait a minute, aren't you that guy from the costume shop?
Sir, what are you doing?
It wasn't me.
He was covered in blood on his shirt and his hands when he got here.
I'm telling you, it was him, Allie. Right down to the little black dot on the tip of his nose.
You're really weird, you know that?
I believe him.
About what? Something really bad's gonna happen tonight.
No, I know when Jonathan's lying, okay? I could hear it in his voice. Something's wrong.
Look, we're gonna have fun. Stress-free environment.
Yep.
Speaking of surprises, kids, we have a very special guest with us today. All the way from Miles County, please welcome Art the Clown.
Wow. Okay, well, we have a spammer in here. All right, whoever's spamming the show, nobody cares. Okay, here we go. All right, so you think it's overhyped. So here's what I have to say about that movie that you just saw the trailer for. I would consider myself a connoisseur of horror films. I've seen thousands of them. I mean, these entire shelves are filled with movies. These are books about the subject. I've been seeing movies in the movie theaters since the, late 70s, early 80s. I was a part of that 80s horror scene of going to see Freddy movies at the movie theaters, right? So I hate when people are trying to be retro for retro purposes. I don't like it when people try to make a B movie. And this looked like that. I don't like mindless garbage filmed just because it looks cool. I hate it. I hated the movie Mandy. I'll be straight honest. A lot of people liked that movie. It annoyed me. And I'm going to review Mandy really quick before I review this so you know where I'm coming from. So the movie Mandy was made on like a Kickstarter kind of a thing where they wanted to make a movie so Nicolas Cage could just go crazy in the movie. And in the story, there's some supernatural elements with these like warrior biker men that drink some sort of weird milk that's like baby fat, demon blood, who knows? And then there's the serial killer story, and then they kind of abandon the supernatural stuff by the end. They don't even bring it back. So they get you to invest into some fantasy, and then they take it away as if it didn't mean anything, because it didn't. And so I'm very weary of that, especially in the B-movie genre. There's a lot of garbage B movies that are made low budget, and they're trying to be kind of schlocky. They're leaning into it. And so I hate that. I don't like it. I like B movies that are just, they happen to be a B movie, meaning they had a low budget and not a lot of backing. So that said, this movie pretty much follows all the tropes of everything I hate. But I watched it, and I'm going to be honest, I had a blast watching it. I really did, and I can't wait to see it again. I actually loved it a lot. And I'm going to give it some nuance of why now. First of all, it cost $250,000 to make. Now, that's not a lot of money. I've done projects that cost more money than that, And so, oh, yes. Oh, the cardboard cutouts. Yes, I used to get them for free, too, at a video store. I used to have a RoboCop one that I lost over the years. Oh, that's cool. So, it does look like Full Moon Horror, but it puts to shame Full Moon Entertainment. It really does. And they're a good example of, like, they just started making schlock to make schlock. Demonic toys versus marionettes. It just got to be like... So, this movie cost $250,000 to make, and it's already made like way over $10 million. So, it didn't cost a lot of money. I usually, okay, straight up, it's gory as hell, and yes, it's fantasy, but it's real. So, like, for instance, Evil Dead, I would call it fantasy gore. Like, yes, it's graphic, but it's a little over the top and cartoonish, right? So this one, I would say, is a hair cartoonish in the sense that its excessiveness is cartoonish. If you're going to hit somebody in the head with a hammer, let's show it 10 times as opposed to 5 times. So Silent Night, Deadly Night's excellent. Excellent. So this one's excessive in gore, well done practical effects. Tom Savini style, folks. Make it real by making it real. And it's great. And they use editing to make it look even more real, not animation. Okay? So it's a gore fest. If you like gory movies, you're going to love it. If you don't like gory movies, you're going to be doing this a lot. Now, I like gory movies, and I was not, wide-eyed and looking closely. I was wincing because it's really kind of nasty. I loved that the movie had a retro vibe without it being retro. It was, it had an 80s kind of soundtrack with keyboards. Why? Because it was cheaper, which is why they did that in the 80s. It was cheap. You didn't have to hire an orchestra. You could have a guy on a keyboard make the whole thing. So it had that. It had a really nice color palette. I thought the lighting during the normal scenes, like the daylight hour scenes, was not so hot. That's where they need work on. But the lighting during the darkened scenes, the fantasy violence scenes, really good. I like that the plot of the movie had some fantasy in it. It did. It has a fantasy element. I don't want to give spoilers away, but there's a mythology to it. Yes, the villain is mindless. And that was my original complaint of the series is, you don't know anything about this guy. He's just a clown. He's a scary clown. That's it. There's no meat to him. But there is. It's subtle. And throughout 1 and 2, you start to learn a little bit of a backstory that makes you ask questions. And you get little answers that you have to put together. And that to me gives it, oh, dude, Dead Alive. We're going to talk about those movies. Dead Alive. Like, Dead Alive is an excellent low-budget movie that made a lot of money. So this movie's an excellent low-budget movie, Terrifier 2. Made a lot of money. It's 2 hours and 18 minutes long. Unheard of for a slasher film. It's the longest slasher film ever made. It has to be. The villain is epic in his acting, in his demeanor, the palette of his movement. He doesn't speak. It's a non-speaking role, but he's very good at playing a bad guy. The director-writer wrote great characters. Are they shallow? A little bit, but not really. I mean, they have meat in them, and there is a backstory to the thing. I mean, especially 2. Yes, his name is Art. Oh, no, Art that makes people think. What? That's true. But the bad guy, his name is Art in this movie. Art the Clown, which I think is kind of cool. Because his name's Art, and he's making art, which is killing people. It's kind of a subtle little take on who he is. I think that the pacing of the movie, although it's long, there are these tableaus of violence that are so extreme, and there's dream sequences and hallucinations, and it borderlines the fantasy of this movie right here, Dream Warriors. It has a little bit of that horror fantasy element to it, which I really liked. The actor David Howard Thornton, who plays Art the Clown, oh, he used to be a mime. Yeah, really. He definitely is the real deal. I really liked the teenager actors in the movie. One kid's name is Elliot Fullman. He's the nerdy teen kid with heavy metal posters, and he has King Diamond posters in his house, which is hilarious. He supposedly is a real metalhead and actually runs a metal podcast. And he's also in the movie Color Out of Space, which is also another one that I liked. See, I liked that one. I did not like Mandy. To me, Mandy was fluff. It was trash fluff. I didn't feel like there were any payoffs in that movie. None. I remember the grand finale being so not grand. Like, he walked in to fight the bad guy at the end, and it took like 10 minutes for him to just walk in the room. It was oddly paced. I didn't quite understand what they were doing. It's like, doesn't make sense. Now, Chris Stuckman loved Terrifier 2. He thought it could have been cut. Maybe it could have, but I love that they took their time, maybe. I don't hate that it's that long. It's 2 hours and 18 minutes. I mean, my God. What else did I write? I wrote low budget glory. Acting was good. Gore is the king. I was taking a couple notes when I watched it. The supernatural hero slant. Ooh, I don't want to say what it is. It's retro without it being retro. It's got a crazy pacing. It goes from like creepy to like really fast paced. It has a lot of heart in it. It's like they clearly didn't go, let's make a B movie. They were like, let's take this little budget and make it work as best we can. Let's make the effects look good. Let's make the lighting good. Let's make the acting good. And let's take it seriously. Hey, we don't have a lot of money, but it's going to look just as good as an A-list film. And I think they did their job. Now, is it up to the hype? For me, it was. It really was. It did live up to the hype. I was told it was going to be one of the goriest movies I've ever seen. Was it? Yes, it was. Did it make me wince? Yes. Did it make me go, yes, the whole time? I was like, I didn't know what to do. I just kind of sat there with my jaw open. Yeah, I wish I saw it in the movie theaters. I didn't get to see it in the movie theaters. So there's Terrifier and Terrifier 2 started off. There's another movie called The Ninth Circle, which is, I guess, a bunch of shorts. And in one of them, there's an Art the Clown thing. I don't know anything about that yet. I will see it. The thing that I wanted to mention is this. I wanted to mention I think each generation, each 10 years, has a horror film that costs no money, that makes a lot of money, that creates kind of like a new standard for us. So for the 60s, it was Night of the Living Dead. And Night of the Living Dead made... So Night of the Living Dead came out, what, 1968? It cost $114,000 to make. And it made $30 million. It also was the first zombie movie. I mean, really, it really is the first real zombie movie. The one that is what we call a zombie, that's the one. It was shot in black and white to save money, not to be cool. So they weren't trying to. They were like, look, we need to make a good movie for this budget. What do we do? All right, no color. The lead actor, a lot of people interpreted it as a comment on the civil rights of the time, because it was a black guy playing a lead role as the hero in a horror film, which not popular at the time. Obviously, it's the 60s. You know, it wasn't popular in the 80s or 90s for a black guy to play a lead. Well, that's not true. As we'll see, this movie started the trend, actually. But, yes, right. Yeah, a movie where the dances and a movie where an African-American was the hero. So he didn't cast that guy because he's like, all right, the lead has to be a black guy. He was like, he said he auditioned actors and that guy was the best actor. So he put him in. And does it give it a civil rights slant? A little bit, yeah, but that's not why he cast him. So he was being, I think, progressive in his just, hey, let's put the best guy in. If he's a black guy, it's sure, why would I not? You know, like, who cares? Clearly that movie is a work of art. I mean, really, it's well acted and great, and it made $30 million. Now, I think Night of the Living Dead probably would have made $1 billion if they copywrote the movie. They through some freaky thing, they forgot to copyright the movie and they lost the rights. It's public domain. I would say the 70s film that made a lot of money, it cost $300,000 and it made $22 million. Phantasm. Brilliant movie. Nothing like it. Brand new. You know, like really weird concept and low budget, and they created an archetypal monster, the Tall Man. Let's fast forward to the 80s. In 1987, we get Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It cost $1.8 million and it made $43 million. It looks great. Is it a B movie? Yes. Does it look like a B movie? Yeah. Is it good? Yes, it's perfect. It's a great movie. It's got good gore. It's got a fun story. It's got great look. The actors are really fun. I mean, really, it's a great movie. It's got some scary stuff and funny stuff. 90s, I would say, is Blair Witch, right? Cost between $200,000 and $500,000 to make, and it made $248 million. It made $250 million. Now, that movie to me did not live up to its hype. Yeah, I heard it's overgrown, Fallon. Yeah, I've never seen that house. I've been at all the other places, though, because I live near there. But I don't know. Blair Witch, to me, did not live up to the hype. If I would have been in college and somebody said, hey, there's a student film being shown and I heard it's good, and it was Blair Witch, I would say, bravo, that's a clever little smart film that has obviously no money and tells a scary story. Yeah, I'll give it that. The movie First Blood, 1982. Independent film distributed by, I believe, Paramount. First Blood, the first Rambo movie, cost $15 million. It made $125 million. And then here we go. Paranormal Activity. $15,000 is what it cost. It made $193 million. This is nuts. These movies, horror films, are a great way to make money in the genre, okay? Oh, let's not forget this. Texas Chainsaw Massacre cost $80,000 and it made $30 million at the box office. So I raised my glass to these low-budget films that crossed the line and gave a big middle finger to Hollywood. The fact that Terrifier 2 is able to do that, to me, is a middle finger to Hollywood. You don't need those budgets. You don't need star power. You need to make a great movie that has heart in it. Heart, meaning you can tell the director cared for his product. And you can tell the director made choices that meant something. And to me, that's why this is a great movie. So I liked it. Not only is it because it's well made, I liked it because I could feel the heart in the film. Feel it directly. The special effects have Tom Savini written all over it. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Good one. I'll look that up. Anybody on here wants to look it up, look it up. Cannibal Ferox is a good movie, I think. It's a well-made movie. I would guess that thing cost... How much? I'm going to guess. Cannibal Ferox cost... $100,000? I'm going to look it up right now. Cannibal Ferox. I'm going to guess 100,000. Cannibal Ferox. Cannibal Ferox. Here it is. Cannibal Ferox, 1983. Okay. It does not have the budget. So, it's not in the wiki. Let me see. Cannibal Ferox budget. Now you got me. Budget. I don't know how much it made, though. Let's see. It's also called Make Them Die Slowly. I don't see the budget, but we can find it. Oh! It was $100,000! Yeah, there you go. It probably made millions. I mean, yeah, they would go to the drive-in and people... Yeah. Zombie probably... Yeah, I'm sure Zombie didn't... It's called Zombie 2. Zombie is called Zombie 2 in Italy, which is weird. Yeah. So, I was going to say, I personally don't like it when someone tries to make a B movie. Like, as you know, if you watch the show, I hate the movie Mars Attacks. I'm a giant Mars Attacks fan who hates the film because how do you make a B movie if you have a millions and millions of dollar budget to make a movie? It's not a B movie anymore. What's up, Yvette? My sis is in here. Hi, sister. I just make a good movie. I mean, if I was a Hollywood studio and they were like, make a B movie, I would be like, what do you mean by that? Like, make it look cheap? I don't understand. What do you mean, make it a B movie? Oh, make it look schlocky. Oh, make it look like we're not good? I don't understand what that means. When we watch a movie like... I mean, dude, think of the Roger Corman movies. Like, think of Buckets of Blood. Anybody ever see Buckets of Blood? If you're watching this right now and you like horror films and you like the history of horror, look up Roger Corman's film Buckets of Blood. It's like Little Shop of Horrors, in which I think he filmed it in like less than a week. Little Shop of Horrors, he did all the principal photography in 3 days. Yeah. Stop and think about that. Buckets of Blood, I think he did it in a week. It's a really well-made movie. It's not gory, but I really think that Bowery at Midnight, Devil Bat, those are the B movies of that era. Yes. Interesting, Dan. Yeah, the Universal horror films, people don't realize there were B movies then too. You know, they were the ones that they didn't. Oh, so you've seen Buckets. I got to see Buckets of Blood at a movie theater. It's a beatnik movie. That's why it's cool. You get to see the beatnik scene, the coffee shop with all the artists, and there's a murder that's going on. Yeah, the original Wizard of Gore is great. Those are B movies. They have a lot of heart. They take themselves seriously, but they're clearly not great actors. And you know, a lot of times, like, one of the things I like in B movies is if you can get an actor that has a lot of talent but is kind of untrained, and the director's good, you can get a good performance. Like Terrifier 2. I mean, these actors are legit. They're directed well. There's scenes that they do together that have some sort of emotional context, have an emotional context. And in a B movie, because they're low budget, people aren't famous necessarily, they're giving it their all. They're really putting their heart and soul into the performance. You know, it's like not everybody gets a chance to be in a movie. And so when you cast people to play a part in a B movie, they go for it. And it's up to the director to say, hey, pull it back a bit or turn it up a little bit, you know? And so when I watch B movies, I usually think that sometimes the acting is almost better because they're doing their best. And they know they're doing their best and they're really throwing it out there. Sometimes it seems over the top because they're untrained. And it is what it is. All great art that I like was basically invented by poor people. Rock and roll, jazz, doo-wop. Those are my favorite genres of music. And they all were invented by poor people that didn't have anything. I mean, look at the hip-hop movement. I'm not a fan of the music, but it came from somebody that didn't have musical instruments. They had to be creative and come up with a new way to make music, you know? And so it's authentic, right, Dan? Because they don't have anything. And so they have their limited resources and they have to use their brain to go, hey, I have limited resources. What can I do with this? Because of that, the creative brain overcompensates and comes up with new stuff. And that's where new things come out of. I don't know a lot of the biker B movies, but I know of the genre. Yeah, there's a genre of biker B movies. So Terrifier 2, to me, is a crowning achievement in B movies. I think one of the scenes in the movie has a lot of crowdfunding people in it. Meaning if you gave them money, you could be in the movie if you were near, as an extra. And that scene, I don't want to spoil it, is pretty over the top. I liked it. My sister likes Dracula movies. Yeah, well, let's think. Which ones are low budget? A lot of Dracula movies are big budgeted productions. My favorite's the Langella. I haven't seen Nightbreed, the director's cut. What do you think? Because I saw Nightbreed at the movies, and I was disappointed. I remember there was something wrong with it, and I couldn't put my hand on it. I did not see All Hallows Eve. I saw Terrifier. Ecto Portal. Should I see All Hallows Eve? It's the pre-movie, right? It's like the anthology that has the clown character. I have yet to see it. I want to see it. What did I write here? Creative problem solving. When you have nothing, you have everything. Lean into the B movie. So why do people lean into B movies? Meaning leaning into it, meaning like hamming it up and making it schlocky. Well, Because they don't have to make it look good then. They don't have to own it as, hey, we actually tried to make this look good and it came off schlocky. And the reason why I wrote this down is because that is why I don't like a lot of magic shows. Black Rose 88? I don't know that. Oh, it is good. Okay. Hammer Horror with Chris Lee. I do like those. So, for instance, in the world of magic, a lot of magicians like to play the part of a cheesy magician. And they lean into it. So they do the whole, like, look, my hands are empty. And they do, like, exaggerated gestures. Or they'll do... The outfit they're wearing is exaggerated. You know, they'll wear a goofy hat. They'll make jokes about how sleazy magicians are in their act. And so they're like making fun of a magician archetype as they're doing the magic. You know, why? Well, because in their world, magicians deserve it because we are cheesy and stupid. Now, I never liked that. I always thought it was kind of like, yeah, people think lowly of magicians. Instead of leaning into it and agreeing with them, why not show them an example of it being so different than what they ever imagined? They'll never think of that other one again. Or, yes, that exists as an archetype of a bad, sleazy magician, but as soon as they see you start to do it, they realize they're wrong, or they put you on a new pedestal. So, and I always thought, well, why would somebody lean into the whole magic stupid? Well, it's good cover for their magic not being powerful. If you really had a powerful magic trick that could get gasps, and I mean, oh, how did you just do that, right? Why would you ruin it with a joke? You would never do that. No magician, if he knew he was going to get a goosebump reaction and a gasp, would ruin it by adding some stupid humor. The stupid humor would come as a protector to the fact that the gasp might not work as a backup. So they lean into the stupid humor, hoping that people go, oh, he's leaning into it because he's not one of them. To me, it's really backward logic. You're making your job harder. And so to me, the horror film B-movie genre would be the same. Like, try to scare your audience. Like, yeah, you have a dumb clown who kills people and he has no motive other than he's scary, but make him scary. What's the action of the film? It's a tragedy, right? Horror films are you'd put them in the tragedy, I guess you could put them in the... My hair looks weird. I guess you could put them in the comedy genre, but I mean, ultimately, you know, you would never put The Exorcist in the comedy genre. It's a tragedy. Terror Train's awesome. What? They remade it on Tubi? There's a remake of Terror Train? What? Does it have a magician in it? Because David Copperfield's in the original. Oh, don't tell me too much. Whoa. Tubi's kind of an awesome channel, people. I don't really watch TV, but it's free and it has a lot of stuff on it. What was I saying? Oh. Why? You would never lean into making fun of yourself if what you were trying to do is successful. Right? You like the good-looking vampires. Yeah, right? That's a genre. Like the sexy vampire look. Shortest scary story. I know shortest sad story. It's like, oh my God, I used to have it memorized. It's one line. It's the shortest sad story ever written. It's like, baby shoes for sale. That's it. That's the shortest scary story or sad story. Oh, I get your joke. Shortest scary story. It's Monday. I don't know if that's the scary story. It's Monday. Yeah, Tubi has a lot of cool, weird stuff. They have a great, like, B-movie section. So, my life has been literally immersed in be everything. Be music, be movies, be literature, things that are lower budget in nature. I would say my whole life is low budget in nature. I would say I work in the variety arts, which is, I would say, the bottom of the barrel of performing. I mean, I think it's, for me, it's the top, but in the grand scheme of things, you know, I work in low budget everything, whether it be theatrics, film, making records. Yeah, like, and so I'm fascinated by what people can do on low budgets. And when I see it successfully done, I study it like a science, and I applaud it and cheer it on. It truly warms my heart to know that we don't need Hollywood to satisfy our needs. I wish Hollywood was a little bit better at giving up their intellectual property to smaller companies. I think that would be kind of cool. You know, if they let people make Batman movies that have low budget Batman movies and stuff. A quick card trick, Adam Bronocchio. I mean, sure. But you are welcome at what you do. Welcome? You mean good or welcome? Quick card trick. I don't, I mean, honestly, here, here, it's a pack of cards. I think they're new. Name one. Adam Bronocchio. Do you do magic, Adam? I don't know if you do magic. I would love to see a low-budget Batman. Well, look it up. There's Batman versus Aliens. Someone made a low-budget film. It's actually pretty good. Somebody put in a playing card in there. Anyone. Don't make it the Ace of Spades. It's too common. I know Hammer Horror was going to do new stuff, Fallon. I don't know if they did. They were going to open up a new studio. But honestly, A24, I guess you could put them in a low budget category. I mean, they're high budget compared to these, but in the grand scheme of things, I think for Hollywood, they're low budget. I mean, Paramount, King of Hearts, great. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to open these up, and I think you're going to find this kind of funny, but let's see. Yeah, look, folks. Look, there's one card. I don't know. King of Hearts. The Quiet Dead. I don't know The Quiet Dead. The Indian Batman remakes. I don't know if I've seen those. Honestly, I wish there were movie theaters that had more of the B movies. There's just not enough, I guess. In the old days, there were definitely theaters that played the main movies, theaters that played the B movies. We still have art house theaters, but I'm talking like has-been films that have already been out, old movies. Meaning, like, I would love to go see, like, they keep making new movies, right? Why not put the old ones back in the theater like they did in the 50s? You know, in the 50s, they were putting the 30s in. And, oh, yeah, thank you very much. And honestly, I'm just like, do it again. Like, start putting movies back in the movie theaters that are worthy of seeing again. Like, you know, I'd like to see The Shining in the movie theaters. I'd like to see, there's so many. All right, here. I did another one. Name another card. Old Boy was a fun movie. I don't know Old Boy. Yes, I agree. Instead of doing remakes, do originals or bring back the old one. Like, instead of remaking The Exorcist, just put it back in the theaters. You know, make a new print, make it nice. Another card, name it. Honestly, I can't think of another remake that we need. I know there's an Exorcist television show that's getting ready to come out. That's a sequel. I think it's like 6 episodes, and it has the woman that played the mom in it. Ellen Byrne something. But yeah, I'm sick of remakes. You know, they're making another Evil Dead without Ash. Blah, blah, blah. 3 of Spades. And so, here, look. So, yeah. I don't know what to say. I wanted to do a show where I kind of praise the art of B movies, cheering on this new one. Are there any hosts? There are those guys. There's some horror hosts still. Well, I think Rocky Horror is the only film that's never left the movie theater. Never. So it might, I don't know how much money it's made over the years, but it literally is, it came, it didn't do well, and then it stayed in the movie theaters forever. So how's that for irony? Yeah. I love the old ones. Oh, me too. I like older movies because, I mean, honestly, again, they treated it like live theater, you know? It was a different scene. Ah, right. Okay. Let's talk about that. Dan P. The only movie I'd like to see remade is The Creature. Well, yeah. I would like to see a new Creature. Like, why not make one, but make it scary? Not a lot of CG. Make it really like a beautiful underwater horror film with this aquatic monster. I'm shocked they haven't done it. I mean, really, it's the one that's never been remade, ever. The closest creature in any movie would be Monster Squad. Oh, yeah, Svengoolie. Forgot about him. Monster Squad has a creature character. And Dan, have you seen Monster Squad? I highly recommend it if you haven't. It's great. I have never seen that. Has anybody ever seen Neon Maniacs? That's kind of a cult film. Not a great movie, but has an interesting quality to it. 226 million is how much Rocky Horror has made. Wow. That's pretty cool. For a movie that did not do well when it came out, bravo. And that also shaped a lot of people's realities. I mean, even for me, like, it was a movie, I know a lot of gay people, that was the movie that kind of brought them out. You know, made them realize they weren't freaks. And not only, and if they were a freak, they celebrated it. It was something to celebrate. I felt the same seeing that movie, not coming from like, you know, I'm not gay, so it wasn't like that, but I was still a freak, you know, mentally, I was not where everybody else was. And I also hung out in a scene that did have a lot of gay people, which was the theater scene. In my hometown, it was the only place where you would see open gay people that were totally open with it in that time, in the early 80s and stuff. And so I get why that movie opened the door for people's minds, you know? That's the one Rob Zombie should have done, not the Munsters. Well, I don't know. He might have screwed that one up too. But yeah, the Munsters thing, I will never see it. I showed the toy. I bought the toy from the movie of Zombo because I like Zombo, but I don't need to see a Munsters remake. I think it's really silly he did that. I don't get it. Again, that's somebody trying to make a B movie. They're like, we're going to make it a B movie. I don't want to see that. Rocky Horror lets you know who the homophobes were. Yeah, the people that didn't like it are like, whoa. I mean, honestly, for its time, yeah, it was pretty gay. I mean, there's like, Frankenfurter, hits on Brad and Janet and gets them both. It's pretty funny. It's one of my favorite scenes. Great movie. Actually, I haven't seen it in a while. Fantastic movie. Really. Great music. Again, a lot of heart. You can tell Richard O'Brien's heart is in every scene. In the writing, in the music, it's all there. It meant something to him. It wasn't just like, let's make money. I mean, when you watch Terrifier 2, I don't think that guy was trying to just like, let's make money. He was like, let's make the best horror film we can make. And even the poster. Look at the poster of the movie for Terrifier 2. There's 2 posters. I want both of them. They're beautiful. They look like 80s glorious horror film art. And I really appreciate that. So, I don't know what else to say. I loved it. See Terrifier 2. If you like horror films, you should see this movie. You'll probably like it a lot. And if you don't like the story, which you probably will, you will like the gore. It is gory. He knows how to direct it just so instead of just cutting somebody, he knows where to put the cut to make it even more And then to add insult to injury, this movie, right? Oh, Brad. Oh, Brad. Yeah, the scene where he yells it. Where he goes, coming. Just when you think that the gross kill is over, it gets worse in manners that you can't believe. And so, yes, I do think this lived up to its hype. Yes, it's a good movie, and I do give it 2 thumbs up all the way. I will see it again. I will buy the Blu-ray of it. I will own the movie. I'm a fan of buying these movies. If you like a horror film, buy the DVD, buy the Blu-ray. Really. Like, if you wanted to see Dawn of the Dead during the holidays here, you wouldn't be able to find it online. It's not on any platform. So you don't know when they're going to pull it from a platform, re-release it, change it. You don't know when they're going to ban the movie because there's something in it. They all drop it. And then you really can't see it unless you own it. So if there's a movie you like, buy it. And this is one I'm going to buy. I think in the cancel culture that we're living in, that horror films will be on the chopping block eventually. I can smell it coming. I can smell the idea of if you make a movie that has gratuitous violence, that it's looked down upon. I can see that coming as one of the next phases as a trigger. I'm triggered by the violence. I mean, it's funny that it's not... People are triggered very easily these days. You would think horror films would be brought out as like, hey, that's crazy. But it's not. So, physical media forever, yes. Notice vinyl's doing well right now. Great. More, please. We might have plateaued a bit with technology where some of the physical mediums are going to stick around, like records. They're not going anywhere. I just got a new receiver for my turntable. They're not going anywhere. DVDs, I know a lot of people that don't have a DVD player right now or a Blu-ray player. A lot. And I don't know. I hope they don't vanish forever. People like to own things. They do. It's different than having it in your library, in your TV. So, honestly, I don't know. Anybody out there that's an expert on this stuff? You think Blu-ray players are going to be around in 10 years? They haven't come up with a new version of a Blu-ray, have they? Like a higher-end version? None that I know of. And come back, I see. Well, I guess horror, because it counts as a tragedy, and we really love tragedies, it's a version of Memento Mori, it's a version of Amor Fati, the Stoic principles of remember death is around the corner at every minute, enjoy each day, look at death and know it's there. Oh, 4K, right. So that I don't own. So, and I don't know anybody that has a 4K player. So that hasn't caught on yet, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know about that 4K. I've heard of it. I know about that. It is a higher end, but I mean, Blu-ray. All right, 4K Blu-ray players are out there. Okay. I mean, I know that, but I don't know why I didn't even think of that. Because I don't have one, and I don't know anybody that has one. Would I own? I mean, if someone gave me one, I would. But like, would I like a 4K of Flash Gordon? Yeah, I would. Huh. Interesting. CDs. Yeah, I don't do the CDs anymore. I listen to CDs in my car. They've been in my car forever, and they just stay. But I don't buy CDs. I do buy vinyl. My daughter's into tapes right now. She loves tapes. I mean, I'm not a tape person. Higher resolution for those that have larger TVs. I have a 60-inch TV. I have a big one. I don't watch much on it except for movies. That's it. Interesting. I'm gonna look into it. Where would it go from there? Just a higher end I mean, we can only see so clear, right? How high end does it get? Huh. I don't know. Wow, it's already 9? Jesus. Wow. Folks, if you're new to this channel, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the notify. Yeah, I'm back on a regular schedule now, which is Monday, and I'm working on some cool shows. I'm working on one on nasty candy. I think you'll like it. I'm working on one, Sean Auberg, if you're watching, I'm going to do an entire episode on a little philosophical list that the guy made. I'm going to do a whole episode on it. It's great. They always find a way to milk more money. Yeah. Well, that's what I thought. You know, they want to make money, so they come up with a new, fancier version. They sell it. Now that everybody's got digital on their TV, not many people are buying those things. So what would they make that's triggering? Ooh, let's buy it. I don't know what you would make. A higher-end version of a DVD player? I mean, what? That's 4K. Huh. Maybe 4K will get popular. I don't know. You know what I do know? It's Monday, my favorite day of the week, and I would like to eat some food and celebrate my Monday. And it's getting cold out now. We're in winter season. It's getting there. I'm going to be doing these podcasts, or are they called podcasts? They're called vlogs? I don't know what they call it. And it's episode 129, thanks to y'all. The disc is always better. Yeah, I guess. I'm going to look into that. Where is it going with Blu-ray DVD? Like, what's the next phase? There must be an answer. Someone's thinking of this. Great. Folks, I had a good time tonight, and I really enjoyed watching Terrifier 2. It made me want to watch more horror. It woke me up to new horror. It did. New low-budget horror, new B movies. And so I really think if you like monster movies, you'll enjoy it. I mean, it's a monster movie. He's a monster clown. I do like the movie called The Clown. If you ever get a chance to see it, it's another clown horror film. I'm not really into clown horror films, I'll be honest. I like killer clowns, and I like Terrifier, but I also liked The Clown. Check that one out. It's also for free online. Really kind of a scary story with a great mythology. Folks, watch some horror films. Watch a tragedy. And cheers to this show and all the viewers. Thank you so much. I've been working hard to get here. I do take donations, but I don't beg for them. Here they are. Bam, if you donate to my show, hallelujah. I do this for a living, so I'm not going to say no. But what I do like is when people subscribe. Tell your friends, hit the subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, just hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to hustle subscriptions. Clownvis in a horror movie. That's a good idea. He needs to be cast in the new Terrifier. That would be cool. Good idea. I'm gonna message him on that and be like, dude, you should try to get in the new Terrifier. He's probably like, I'm already in it. They're definitely making a Terrifier 3. Fallon, thank you very much. Eric, Ecto, Dan, Jason, my sister, my mama, who else is in here? If you're new in here, say hi before I bounce. If you're an old friend watching, I have some people that I went to elementary school that watch these. Please say hi. We love different opinions. If I'm saying something that has a different opinion on, I want to hear it. I love it. Oh, Tony. I didn't know Ecto Portal's Tony. Hi, Tony. So Ecto Portal in here is a horror film aficionado himself. Is Little Shop playing on Broadway? If it is, let me know when. When are you here, buddy? I haven't seen you for so long. I would love to hang out. Ecto Portal is in San Francisco. Tony Anderson. You got to come party with me and Wolfgang, brother. I didn't know that was you. Well, cheers, Tony, and let me know when you're in town. I'd love to hang out with you. Yeah. All right, cool. See, now, that's why I'm always like, who's in here that I know? Come on in. All right, it's an off-Broadway. I love that. That's a great musical. Really good. If not one of my favorites, yeah. And I do like the movies. I like the Frank Oz directed film, but I do like the Roger Corman. I do. I'm a big fan. Tony, you have to see Terrifier. I don't know if you've seen it. You'll like it. Folks, I'm bouncing out. I had a blast. I'm so happy that I have live viewers during my show. Pass it around, tell your friends, and come hang out on this channel. Peace out, everybody. I'm going to take us out with the exit. And cheers. Party on.